ladies and gentlemen, and all the others. This is Alex, W7FTM, along with Vicky, K8VKY. We will be your net control for the Saturday Night Trivia Net number 151. This is a direct-to-net, so all traffic should go through net control. Does anyone have any emergency traffic they were holding until the start of the net? If so, please come now. If you do have an emergency at any time during the net, just say break, break, identify your station, and we will come to your assistance immediately. The format of the net is live trivia. One random question will be read to each person who checks in. You'll have 3 answers to select from. And for the question of the night, if your personality had a warning label, what would it say? If your personality had a warning label, what would it say? Let's see who's checked in so far. Text and email lines. We have KJ6ARR, German George in Scottsdale. He plays by email, got his question correct. GR2FJI, George in Kawagoe, Japan. Might be here tonight. I don't know yet. I haven't heard back from him. We'll try anyway. Little Al, our new general license holder, N6MOT from Monterey, California. KK7HLD, Dave in Portland. KN6MIK, Mike in San Diego. VE3RWJ, Chris in Ancaster, Ontario, Canada. KK7AVK, Victoria in Phoenix. K2AP, Joe in East Islip, New York. KD5AJZ, Alex in Pasadena. KI7ZRI, Don in Kennewick, Washington. N7FGP, one of our facilitators, Scott, Jamestown, New York. Teresa, College Station, Texas. K5MUX. W9KE in Nicholas, Madison, Wisconsin. K8 BYU, Roy in Blasdell, New York. K7FPS, Fred in Reno, Nevada. Let me drop. KK7NXV, Timothy in Tillamook, Oregon. KN6JLW and KN6JLX. And it's Stephanie and Larry in Elk Grove, California. KD6EIR, Wes in Grants Pass, Oregon. Welcome back, Wes. VK2DY, Robert, Kelly Ridge, Australia. KC2JPQ, Frank, Lancaster, New York. W0QG, Devin, Austin, Texas. WB2BLJ, Michael, Ellington, Florida. Ellington, Florida. KA4RGR, Roger in Miramar, Florida. Welcome to the net, Roger. And Sean in Leesburg, Florida. KQ4SRN, welcome to the Trivia Net. Anybody else like to check in? Roll call sign phonetically twice, please.
KF6HDJ, Kilo Foxtrot 6, Hotel Delta Juliet.
Kilo Charlie 5, Charlie Zulu X-Ray, KC5CZX. Whiskey 9 Delta Whiskey Hotel, Whiskey 9 Delta Whiskey Hotel.
November 7, Victor Echo Charlie, KN7VEC, Scott, Tomahawk.
All right, then, let's hold there. We also have picked up Brent, Pensacola, Florida, KF6HTJ. We picked up Gerald in Lubbock, Texas, KC5CZX. N9TVS, Sheila, Wausau, Wisconsin. Welcome back. W9DWH, David, Owensboro, Kentucky. KN7VEC, Scott, Tomahawk, Wisconsin. And AC4BR, Brian in Monticello, Kentucky. That looks like a good start. Again, the question of the night. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say? And to the top we go. Oh, I should let you know this is going to be random trivia tonight. I thought about doing Mother's Day, but it's probably what all the other nets are doing. So, random trivia, collection of questions that I didn't use in the last few theme nets. You're getting leftovers, just like Mother would serve. JR2FJI, George in Kawagoe, Japan. Are you with us tonight? Yeah, you still might make it later. Anyway, Little Al, Monterey, California, N6, MOT. Welcome, buddy, and congratulations on the general license. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Oh boy, N6 MOT AG. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. My personality had a warning label that said, "Look out, there's a big beep hole coming your way." Anyway, ready for a question.
Thank you, Little Al. We got you down, and your question is, by the way, I also have some questions in here tonight about UFOs, since that has been a topic in the news media recently after the government released those files to distract us from an unnecessary war in the Middle East, but yeah, it's one opinion anyway. So I got a few of those, and you get the first one. When is World UFO Day celebrated? World UFO Day. What day is it celebrated? Is it A, July 2nd, B, February 31st, or C, don't be ridiculous, Alex, there's no such thing as World UFO Day or February 31st, and our government would never be so deceitful. Which one of those is correct, Lowell?
Well, all of them. There is no 31st, right? I don't know. And there is no world view. There is no U. I mean, there's got to be some crazy person out there that got the UFO Day put on the calendar for some reason. I'm just going to roll the dice on this one again, just like last week. And now I forgot what my options were, but I'm going to say, Alex, no. I'm going to say there is a World UFO Day, and I just can't remember the option I had. Oh boy. See?
Okay, Little Al, I forgot what the options were. Halfway through the question too. And I'm the controller. Your answer selection is A, July 2nd, B, February 31st, or C, don't be ridiculous, Alex.
I'm going to go with, why not July 2nd? What the heck? Isn't that like UFO Independence Day, like the movie, something? I don't know. I'll go with that for the heck of it. You guys have a great night. Everybody enjoy Mother's Day tomorrow, and happy Mother's Day to mothers out there. 6MOT.
Yes, and yeah, it's July 2nd. Oh, and by the way, your question of the night, look out, we didn't quite get one of the words. What was your personality warning label? What would it say?
You're going to make me say it on the air, aren't you, Alex? You really want me to say it?
No, that's okay. Vicky got it by your connotation, so it's all right. And yes, July 2nd is World UFO Day. It has its roots in the so-called Roswell incident that occurred on July 2nd, 1947. Something crashed on J.B. Foster's ranch in New Mexico. There were reports that the U.S. military had discovered a flying disc, but officials later said that the debris was merely the remnants of a high-altitude weather balloon that swamp gas had trapped in a thermal pocket and was reflecting the light from Venus. Of course, as everyone knows, there's lots of swamps in New Mexico. By the way, one thing the release of all these videos has shown is that the government's cameras really suck. The resolution of these pics is terrible, but yeah, again, my opinion. Thank you. Well, Dave in Portland, KK7HLD. Tell me, Dave, if you had a personally warning label, well, just pick one. What would it say?
KK7HLD, might contain sarcasm. Back to you.
Try it one more time. There's a little bit of background noise.
KK7HLD, there would be might contain sarcasm there, Alex.
Okay, got it that time. Thank you, Dave. And your question is, in 9A a flavored carbonated milk drink called VO, V-I-O, was released by this company? Was that A, McDonald's, B, Borden's, or C, Coca-Cola?
Boy, that's a tough one. I figure with the other stuff that came out of Coca-Cola and their lack of quality, I'm going to go with Coca-Cola. Although I have a flippant idea. I do remember that, but that's where it came from. I do not remember. And just remember, guys and gals, tomorrow, buy your mother or some wine, because after all, you're the reason she drinks. KK78LD.
Yeah. Hey, Wayne just smoked cigarettes to make up for my, yeah, you're correct. No, you got it. You thought it through. Yes, it was Coca-Cola that put out in 2009 a flavored carbonated milk drink called VO. It was tested on the American market but failed to find broad appeal. However, a spiced buttermilk version of this was released in India, and it's doing well there. The Time magazine included the VO in its 50 worst inventions and published in worst inventions list in 2010 and in its top 10 bad beverage ideas list. Boy, they do a lot of lists over there. Yep. Thank you, Dave. You got it. Mike in San Diego, KN6MIK. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Alex, always a pleasure. KN6MIK, Mike here in San Diego. I'd like to congratulate Little Al being the new Attorney General, AG. Just kidding. Congratulations, Al. My warning label would say, caution, your results may vary. Go ahead, brother, hit me.
Well, he'd make a much better AG than what you got over there in California now, but let's get to the question. It's funny, you had a little bit of radar coming in, that Navy radar coming in when you first keyed up, and you sounded like an alien, but we got everything. So your question is, what's the main difference between a hybrid car and an electric car? A, hybrids mainly run on electricity. B, hybrids use both gasoline and electricity. Or C, electric cars run on environmentalist wishes. Which is true?
Oh, that would be B for Bravo. Always a pleasure, Alex. KN6MIK. Back to you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, hybrids use both gasoline and electricity. And I guess there were a lot of people driving them for a while, but they dropped in popularity a little bit. Anyway, thank you, Mike. You got Chris Ancaster, Ontario, V3RWJ. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Hey, Alex. Someone else already said sarcasm, so I got to come up with something else. I'm going to say, oh, why bother? What Eeyore used to say all the time, because I tend toward the gloomy, believe it or not. All right, ready for my question.
And it's not allowed at all. Your question is, when the movie was released in Argentina, the title was changed to Grisoli, starring Olivia Newton-Wan. Teenage Lovers, or C, Vaselina. Come on, Chris, everyone knows this. What did they change the name of Grease to in Argentina?
I want to say C, but I'll say B. Bravo.
I'm sorry, you said C first. I'm going to have to take that. And yeah, that's it. Vaselina. Yeah, Vaselina. It is what they call grease in Argentina. You see, they couldn't translate it literally because the Spanish word for grease is only used for animal fat or motor grease. And after they saw John Travolta's hair, I mean, that was it. So it's get your copy of Vaselina next time you're in Argentina. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Victoria in Phoenix, KK7AVK. Hello, Victoria. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Good evening, Alex. This is Victor, K7AVK. For personal warning label, I guess I tend to overshare, so I guess don't share with me stuff. I don't know. Go ahead with the question.
See, I'm trying to bring out all these things that people that check into this net, so don't be shy. Nobody here probably cares what your warning label would be, but your question, Victoria, is what is the main advantage of an automobile turbocharger? A, it makes coffee while you're driving. I'm sold. B, it increases engine power by forcing more air into the intake manifold. Or C, it increases engine power by forcing more gasoline into the pistons. What does an automobile turbocharger do?
Wow, that's not in my spectrum of knowledge. Whatever I say, it's probably gonna sound dumb. Let's try with Bravo and see what happens. Thanks, Alex. KK7HDK, back to net.
Oh, come on, Victoria. You knew that all along. Quit playing with us. You're correct. Yeah, it increases. An automobile turbocharger increases engine power by forcing more air into the intake manifold. I've never been able to afford one, but nonetheless, that's what... Thank you, Victoria. I appreciate you playing. All right, this is W7FTM along with K8VKY. You're listening to the Saturday Night Trivia Net on the East Coast Reflector. And we're going to Joe in East Islip, New York, K2AP. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Good evening, Alex and Vicky into the net. I would say, warning, may drift off topics. Ready for the question.
Yeah. I noticed that a lot more as I've gotten older, too. But Joe, your question is, who was the first movie character to use a GPS tracking device? First movie character, was that A, Bugs Bunny, B, James Bond, or C, Walter White?
Well, I have no idea, so I'm going to guess Bravo. I'll go with B, Bravo. Have a great evening, everyone. K2AP, back to net.
Yeah, it was James Bond. It was the first movie character to use a GPS tracking device. It's in the film Goldfinger, where that one pops up for the first time, which I thought was really cool. I thought, yeah, we're going to have that one day. At least the common folk. Thank you, Joe. You got it. Alex in Pasadena, Texas, K85AJZ. Okay, you've had time to think about it. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
That's a tough one. Probably objects in mirror may be less intelligent than they seem. What's my question, Alex?
Well, you just disproved that by coming up with that answer, but that's okay. Clever, Alex. Clever. Your question is, speaking of James Bond, the Bond movie Casino Royale, that's the newer one with Daniel Craig, made this drink famous. Was that A, VO carbonated milk, B, the olive martini, or C, the Vesper martini?
I saw the movie, and I have no idea. Let's take a wild guess at Bravo, just for grins, because I have no idea whatsoever. Enjoy the net as always. Happy Mother's Day to all. 73, back to you, Alex.
Yep, well, the original James Bond may have, that was probably his ring, but the remake was the Vesper Martini. And by the way, if you want to make one, Gordon's Gin, vodka, Lillet Blanc, and a splash of Angostura bitters. That's how you make one of those. Thank you. Thanks for playing out. Don in Kennebec, Washington, KI7ZRI. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say? Just pick, the best one.
Well, hey there, Alex. Dorothy said it should be real stable genius, and I got a mental test and I aced it. They never like that before.
Oh, sounds like you're the goat. Well, that's, thank you. Your question is, what is the name of the government report on unidentified aerial phenomena? A, the Pentagon UAP report, B, the Alien Handbook, or C, Project Blue Book?
I'm going to go with Alpha there. Thanks for doing that, and happy Mother's Day to everybody out there.
You got it. Yeah, I couldn't get you to go for the Project Blue Book. I thought that would be a good decoy, but that's, of course, not it. It's the Pentagon UAP report was what they released, supposedly, recently. We got all the bad video at first. I doubt if we're going to get the good stuff. Thank you, Don. Scott, Jamestown, New York, N7 FGP, one of our facilitators, and probably getting ready to do another net somewhere else. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Evening, Alex and Vicky and everybody out there on the net tonight. It would say caution. May sound serious. Probably isn't, so. Ready for a question.
Yeah, I can't really see you as needing any warning labels, Scott. Just, your family. Thank you. The question is, okay, who was Nanker Felge? Nanker Felge, Nankerphelge. Was the A, a pseudonym used by the Rolling Stones, B, a famous Swedish author from the 17th century who wrote naughty stories, or C, actor Alec Baldwin's birth name? Who is Nanker Felge, or who is Nanker Felge?
Oh, geez, I have no idea. Let's just go with Charlie tonight. Thanks for being out there. Back to you.
Another one that's common knowledge with everybody, and Nanker Felge was a pseudonym used by the Rolling Stones back in the early 60s. They wrote Play with Fire and other songs in 1963 under the name. Apparently, Felge was Brian Jones's roommate's last name. You got it? And Nanker was the band's name for a funny face that Jones made. You see, Jones is the one that actually formed the Rolling Stones, for those who don't know. It wasn't Jagger, it wasn't Keith Richards. He was the one that brought it together, and he didn't like the way it was going with all the satanic songs and albums, and he mysteriously died in a swimming pool at age 27. And, I'm sure it's just coincidence. Thank you, Scott. Teresa, College Station, Texas, K5MUX. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Oh, goodness. This is KE5MUX, and my personality warning label would be sarcasm and may start shenanigans. What's my other question for tonight, sir?
Well, take it. Your question is, which planet is the most associated with UFO origin theories? A, Mars, B, Jupiter, or C, Romulus?
You didn't some home oils in there? You put right. Give me Alpha for the answer. Thank you for doing the net. 73 Kate 5 MUX.
Yep, Mars is the Roman god you want to pick. Talking about UFO origin theories. Invaders from Mars. Let's see, the Orson Welles radio play they did, and then just about everybody. Probably because it's the closest planet and not too hot like Venus. So that's of course women come from Venus, and never mind. Thank you, Teresa. Nicholas in Madison, Wisconsin, W9MKE. Again, if your personality had a warning label, what would it say, Nicholas?
Good evening, Alex and Vicki, and thanks for running the net. Yeah, I think my warning label would say may contain explosive gases. What's my question?
Eat Mexican food a lot, do you? Yeah, same here. The question is, which car is named the Silver Arrow? The Silver Arrow. What are we talking about? Is that A, the Cherokee Chief? B, the Mercedes-Benz W125? Or C, the Toyota Corolla, which is the Silver Arrow?
You just had to ask me a car question and not an astronomy question. Let's see. I don't know. That's a total guess for me. I guess I'm going to go with, I don't know, probably C. That's just a total guess. Back to you, Alex. Thanks. W9MKE.
That much. Be honest with you, I've never heard of the Silver Arrow, but that's actually the Mercedes-Benz W125, and not the Cherokee Chief or the yeah. Not even a Mazda. No. By the way, you know, Mazda stands for Made After Zero Design Analysis. If you've ever seen one, you want to talk about. Thanks, Nicholas. I appreciate that. It's that was a difficult one. Roy in Blasdell, New York, K8 BYU. I'm sure you knew that, but if your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Oh, good evening, Alex, and everybody on the net. K8 BYU. It was a warning. This person does not suffer fools, drugs, or beats gladly. Be advised.
I think Vicky can abbreviate that. No problem. Yeah, got you. I thought you were going to say warning falls asleep during nets, but that's, that would be a lot of people. Your question is, what does mise en place, MISCENPLACE, mean in restaurant lingo? If your waiter says mise en place, if you're in that kind of restaurant, what does it mean? A, preparation and organization of ingredients. B, to eat quickly. Or C, a type of French dessert. How's your French restaurant knowledge, right?
I'm not sure, but I'm going to go with Bravo. Eat quickly because they want turnover. They don't want people taking up forever on the tables.
Well, you are correct that the restaurants like to turnover, even the fancy French restaurants. Yeah, it's mise en place is preparation and organization of ingredients. So next time you eat at that first restaurant, you'll know that and you can impress them. Thank you. Thank you, Roy. Yeah, the portions are really small is the only problem, but then as Americans, that probably wouldn't hurt us. Fred in Reno, FPS, if your personality had a warning label, what would it say, or what would Jane say? What do you think?
Well, Jane's not here tonight to participate, but your mileage may vary. YMMV.
got you down. Your mileage may vary. Your question, Fred, is popular 60s actor Steve McQueen was supposed to be at the dinner party that actress Sharon Tate was having when the Manson family burst in and murdered everyone. McQueen missed the event because A, his Ford Mustang had a flat tire on the way. B, he had to get up early to film the movie Bullet. Looks like he also dodged a bullet. Or C, he met an attractive woman who wanted to have sex with him. Which one of those was the reason that McQueen missed Sharon Tate's dinner party?
Oh my, I don't have a three-sided die in front of me. I'm going to go with Bravo on that one, Alex. K7FPS, back to net.
Yeah, I didn't realize this either until recently, and doing the research, actually, McQueen missed the Sharon Tate dinner party because, he met an attractive woman who he wanted to have sex with, who wanted to have sex with him, and so he said, okay, well, decided not to go to the dinner party. Now, that's according to his wife, by the way. Probably the first time being unfaithful to your wife got someone out of trouble. Yeah. Thanks, thank you, Fred. Timothy in Tillamook, Oregon, KK7NXC. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
This is KK7NXC. My personality warning sign might say, unpredictable donkey ahead. Caution.
Well, they're always unpredictable. Well, maybe not always. Your question is, all right, this is somewhat subjective, or objective, but what do you think I would answer? Let's put it that way. If someone handed you $5 million, what would be the first thing you would buy? A, lots of radio equipment. B, a new home. Or C, a thank you card.
I'm going to go for Alpha, KK7NXC, back to net, 73.
Yeah, as most of us probably would, but I was looking for a thank you card, because someone gives you $5 million, you probably ought to get them a thank you card, or her, or whoever. Thank you. Thanks, Timothy. That's a W7FTM along with K8VKY. You listen to the ECR Trivia Net on the East Coast Reflector. Got nothing better to do, huh? Stephanie and Larry in Elk Grove, California, KN6JLW and KN6JLX. If your personality had a warning level, what would it say? Over to you first, Stephanie.
Hey, Alex, this is Stephanie, KN6JLW, and mine would probably say allergic to stupid.
And this is Larry, KN6JLX, and mine would probably say don't poke the bear. Go ahead with our question, Alex.
You probably are stupid, but yeah, I see your point. Yeah. Well, Stephanie, you must have a lot of allergies. That's all right. Your question is, what is the main method for investigating UFO sightings? The main method for investigating UFO sightings is A, eyewitness reports, B, Ouija boards, or C, a military investigator.
Okay, Alex, we're both going to go with Alpha. Thanks for doing the net, and we'll talk to you next week.
That's right, because if you can't trust that farmer in rural West Virginia, who can you trust? And that's what they go by as eyewitness reports. Yeah. And of course, a lot of them are valid. Thanks, guys. Wes in Grants Pass, Oregon, KD6CIR. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say, Wes?
Hey, Alex in the group, KD6EIR. If my personality had a warning label, it would say, don't ask this guy what time it is, because he will tell you how to build a watch. Back to you.
That goes all the way back to Socrates, doesn't it? Or, oh, we didn't have watches then. Anyway, thank you. Thank you, Wes. Your question is, the original script of the Doctor Strangelove film called for the movie to end with this: A, Doctor Strangelove being able to walk again; B, a bomb exploding in the war room; or C, a pie fight breaking out in the war room. Yep, one of those is true. Which one is it?
Well, with Slim Pickens writing the atomic bomb, that's whatever ending they chose. Whatever ending they proposed, they couldn't beat Slim Pickens writing a bomb. I mean, that was a classic. This is pretty zany, and I mean that, zany. I'm going to say a pie fight, believe it or not. It can't be true, but it sounds good to me. Mel Brooks didn't write that, right? Anyway, back to you, Alex, KD6EIR.
Unfortunately, it was Stanley Kubrick, and you're right. It was a pie fight breaking out of the war room. That was what they had proposed for the final scene. They even filmed it. It shows George C. Scott with pie all over his face, and they're laughing and everything. And Kubrick decided it would be a little too silly, and he tossed the scene, so to speak. So that was it. Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room. And as you pointed out, Slim Pickens as Major King Kong was probably his best performance ever. They were going to have Peter Sellers play him too, but Sellers injured himself trying to straddle the bomb, which is funny in itself. And so they brought in Slim Pickens, and I can't imagine that movie without him in it. So, thank you, Wes. Robert, Kelly Ridge, Australia, VK2DY. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Good afternoon, Alex. This is Robert, VK2DY. I suppose it would say anything about archaeology or amateur radio unless you have a free afternoon. VK2DY.
You're one of them fellers that can talk for an hour or two on your favorite topic. Yeah, it's you have to curb yourself on the radio like I do, but I understand. Of course, the topics I like probably can't talk on the radio too much. They involve politics. Anyway, Robert, your question is, which country is home to Hyundai Motors? Hyundai Motors. Is it A, Japan, B, South Korea, or C, North Korea, where the cars are driven and personally inspected by our glorious leader?
Alex, VK2DY. That would be South Korea, although some people might think it was North, but I'm going to have to go with South Korea. VK2DY.
Or as the mamas and the papas sing, Hyundai, Hyundai, ooh, yeah, it was South Korea. Yeah, you got it. Thanks. Thank you. Well, they're better made than a Yugo. That's Frank and Lancaster, C2 JPQ. If your personality had a warning label, Frank, what would it say?
Good evening, Alex and Vicky and everybody on the net. Oh my God, on the Trivia Net. If my personality had a warning, it would say joking and laughing is mandatory. I'm ready for my question. Back to you, Alex.
Yeah, it's a shame people take life so seriously. I mean, it's pretty darn funny. I think God set it up that way. But all right, your question is, which movie helped popularize UFOs in the 1970s? Which movie are we talking about? A, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, B, Star Wars, or C, Cowboys versus Aliens?
I'm going to go with A, Alpha. Talk to you next week, Alex. Good hearing you. Take care. KC2JPQ.
Yep, that was the one. Close Encounters of the Third Kind by my neighbor, Steven Spielberg. Well, we don't quite live in the same neighborhood, but nonetheless, that's the one. Yeah, my wife still talks about that movie and how good it was and everything. So, thank you. Thank you, Frank and Devin in Austin, Texas, W0QG. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say? I can understand that one, but your question is, actor Kurt Russell is the son of A, comedian Nipsey Russell, B, Bonanza actor Bing Russell, or C, actress Goldie Hawn. Who's Kurt Russell the son of?
I have zero idea, but my wife says the answers for these questions is always B, as in Bravo, so I go with B. Hey, thanks for running the net, and I'll see you guys next week, 7-3.
Well, tell your wife she's way off base. The answers are not always B, and although this time it is. Bonanza actor Bing Russell is Kurt Russell's son, or is the father of Kurt Russell. Lord. He played Deputy Clem Foster in the long-running television western Bonanza. Yeah, it's Bing Russell. And Goldie Hawn, of course, is Kurt Russell. So that would be awkward. Thank you, Devin Michael in Ellington, Florida, WB2BLJ. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Good evening, Alex, and good evening, Vicky, and everyone on the net. Well, let's see. I would say do not expect serious answers. Try to take things light and not take things too seriously, especially living in a retirement community. You can get some pretty interesting questions. Anyway, ready for my question. Go ahead.
Yeah, women hate that when you joke all the time. You have to be serious every now and then, but I know how you feel. Your question is, which famous UFO hoax involved crop circles? Yeah, UFO hoax that involved crop circles. Was that A, the Wiltshire, England incident, B, the Saskatchewan, Canada incident, or C, the Alien Graffiti Championships?
That's a good one. I think I'm going to have to go with Bravo. I really don't know, though, because I don't pay that much attention to crop circles anymore. They were popular for a while, and now you don't hear too much about them anymore. Anyway, happy Mother's Day to all. Best of 7-3, WB2PLJ. Back to net control.
Yeah, the funny thing is they have had crop circles in Canada too, but it was the Wiltshire, England incident that was the hoax. Now they had legitimate crop circles nobody could explain that appeared out of nowhere, but then some people just go around and hoax, a couple of guys stomping down the crops and making the patterns, but he still didn't explain all of it. So thank you, Michael. So the Wiltshire, England incident. Roger, Miramar, Florida, K4RGR, and welcome to the net. Tell me, if your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Good evening, Alex. Personality had a warning label. Let's go with caution, may bite when pressured. Go ahead and hit me with your question.
As long as it's when you're and you don't do it just, to everybody. Your question, which luxury car brand produces the Ghost? The Ghost car, is that A, Casper Motors, B, Lexus, or C, Rolls Royce?
Well, you hit me with one that I think I know. I would like for it to be Casper, but I will have to go with Rolls Royce. 73 to all. Back to net.
Rolls Royce. I never heard of it, but you're right. The Rolls Royce Ghost, a luxury car. Does it have I don't know, does it make you invisible, or does it have a radar deflecting? Anyway, it's a Rolls Royce. Yeah, thank you, Roger. Sean in Leesburg, Florida, KQ4SRN, and welcome to the net. And if your personality had a warning label, what would it say? Looking for Sean, KQ4SRN. Unless you're one of the people that pronounces it seen, but KQ4SRN nonetheless. Are you there? It's okay. Maybe later. Brent in Pensacola, Florida, KF6HTJ. Welcome back, and tell me, if your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Well, good evening, Alex and Vicky and the rest of the net. I would have to say my warning would be benevolently batty. And about the grease thing, Don't Cry for Me, Vaselina, actually has a good ring to it. Back to you for my question.
I should have thought of that one. Okay, your question, Brent, is the American television comedy Sanford and Son was actually based on a British TV show called A, Kingsford and Son, Tiptoe and Son, or C, Prince Andrew and Daughter.
Well, that's a good question. I don't think England has very strict, let's say, majesty laws, but I don't think they would make that big of a satire about the British family. So we'll rule out Charlie. We'll go with Alpha. KF6HTJ.
Yeah, that was a little before Prince Andrew got in some trouble. Actually, the Sanford and Son comedy was based on the British BBC show called Steptoe and Son. Take a look at look it up on the internet. It's kind of funny. The characters look a little goofier than Sanford and Son. Although I like Red Fox. He was great in that comedy. But that's what it's based on. Thank you, Brent. Daryl in Lubbock, Texas, KC5CZX. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Well, good evening, Alex. For me, I guess it would be warning spontaneous humor may erupt. So go ahead with the question.
Yep, I can tell that about you, Daryl. Yeah, I can just tell. Your question is, what unusual material... Oh, I'm sorry, I got another one of these television comedies. The American television comedy All in the Family was based on a British TV show called A, Meet the Bullocks, B, The Royals, or C, To Death Us Do Part.
I'll go out a wild guess and say Charlie. Back to net, KC5CZX.
Yeah, that was a more Monty Python version of All in the Family. It was Till Death Us Do Part, and that's correct. I didn't switch the words around the letters. It was To Death Do Us Part, yep. I'm going to have to start looking these up and just watching them on YouTube, see if they're any good. Thank you, Daryl. You got it. There's a W7FTM in Phoenix, Arizona, along with Vicky, K8VKY. You listen to the ECR Trivia Net on the East Coast Reflector. And next we're going to Sheila in Wausau, Wisconsin, N9 TVS. All right, Sheila, come on, give it up. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
It would probably say I talk too much. N9 Tango Victor Sierra.
Yeah, I would have guessed that right away. Come on, Sheila, you hardly say anything, at least on the air, but that's different, I understand. I have to talk to you in person sometime. Your question is, what unusual material was allegedly recovered from the Roswell crash? Was it A, metallic debris that straightened itself out when crumpled? B, a power source that appeared to use gravity as propulsion? Or C, aluminum foil from space burritos? It appears the aliens like fast food too. What do you say, Sheila?
I would guess on B. I just wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to everyone, and thanks for doing the net as normal. You're doing real good. N9 Tango Victor Sierra.
And thank you, Sheila, and a happy Mother's Day to you. And actually, what they found now, I think they found a power source that appeared to use gravity as propulsion, but they didn't say anything about that. What they did find that they talked about was metallic debris that straightened itself out when crumpled. It was like aluminum foil, but when you crumple it up, it just came right back again, and yeah, of course, they turned into a weather balloon after that. So, thank you, Sheila. David, Owensboro, Kentucky. We're way above everyone else in the weather balloon creation. W9DWH. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Good evening, Alex, and everyone on the net. If anybody should probably talk to me for any length of time, it probably caution, do not drive or operate heavy machinery.
I thought that was the Kentucky motto. Just kidding. You poke fun at Arizona if you want. We deserve it too. Your question, David, is I didn't know this. Maybe you do. What ingredient is essential in a traditional Caesar salad dressing? A, olives, B, anchovies, or C, Christians?
No clue, Alex, but I'm going to go and guess with the olives. And as always, thanks for doing the net. Hope to catch you next week. W9, get a bitch.
You see, as I like to say, that's what I thought. It would be the olives, right? You know, it's Caesar salad. No, it's anchovies. Yeah, anchovies is an essential traditional ingredient in Caesar salad dressing. So, if you order that at the restaurant, remember that next time if you don't want to chopped up little fishies. Scott in Tomahawk, Wisconsin, KN7VEC, and all right, tell us, Scott, if your personality had a warning label, what would it say? Scott in Tomahawk, KN7VEC, we call you. That's okay. Maybe later. We're almost to the end of this call list anyway. We'll be taking more check-ins here shortly. Brian in Monroe, Kentucky, AC4BR. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Good evening, Alex and Vicky and everybody on the net. That is a good question. Probably should go with something like referencing my mostly introverted personality or something, but considering I tend to stay on the humorous side of things, I think I'm going to go with the warning label of may cause anal leakage. What's my question, Alex?
Yeah, I hate when that happens. Thank you, Brian. And this is a serious net, Brian. We never did humor on this. At least the host doesn't, but you can. Your question is, here we are. What phenomena do skeptics often cite for UFO sightings? So, not the people that see them, but the skeptics, what do they often cite for UFO sightings? Is it A, weather or optical illusions, B, people seeking attention, or C, moonwalking penguins?
That's a good question. I'm going to say A, alpha. It'd probably B most of the time, but I'll go with A, just for the heck of it. Anyway, back to you, Alex, AC4BR.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brian. It's moonwalking penguins. No, you're right. It's weather or optical illusions is what the skeptics cite for UFO sightings, and sometimes that's true. The weather balloon with swamp gas and Venus and all that, but sometimes it's people seeking attention, but usually it's people actually report they saw something, like I did, a UFO one night in Oceanside, California, that went over the school I was teaching at. It was on the coastal hills, and the fog was really heavy that night, and you couldn't see anything from the town. And, there's no weather balloon. Thank you, Brian. Chris in Hollywood, Florida, KQ4UPK. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
I think it was warning, strong signal, deep conversations, technical rabbit holes, unexpected wisdom, and occasional atmospheric disturbances.
Okay, we'll just shorten that into, he's crazy. Okay, Vicky got it. Thank you, Chris. Your question is, all right, You're pretty good at these. I'm going to see if I can get you with this one. Who was Victor Vasarely? Victor Vasarely. It's Victor Vasarely was the A, Vicky's father, B, a Hungarian artist known as the grandfather of op art movement, or C, an American actor who starred in the movies Samson and Delilah and The Robe. Who was Victor Vasarely?
He was that Hungarian French guy. That's B.
Curses foiled again. Yeah, you're right. Victor Vasarely was a Hungarian artist known as the grandfather of the op art movement. Op art, or optical art, is a style of visual art that uses distorted or manipulated geometric patterns to create optical illusions. It began in the early 20th century and was especially popular in the 1960s because it was far out, man. Thank you, Chris. And finally, Lynn in Sylvania, Ohio, KF8EJA. Welcome back, Lynn. And if your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Good evening, Alex. We're going on the net. Thanks for doing it, and thanks to Vicky for logging. Best thing I could come up with is don't kick the dog the wrong way or too many times. Back to you for my question, KF8EJA.
And all of us who've been treated like dogs can relate to that. Thank you. Thank you. Your question is, and don't wash a cat. That's another one you should. Before actor Arnold Schwarzenegger uttered the words "Hasta la vista, baby" in Terminator 2, this comedic actor said them first in 1970. Who was the first to come up with that? Was it A, Burt Reynolds, B, Robin Williams, or C, Bob Hope?
So I'm going to eliminate Robin Williams because of the timing. Might be wrong, but two guys left. I'm going to guess Charlie, Bob Hope, KF8EJA. How'd they do?
Well, you did the process of elimination perfectly, actually. It would have been a little early for Burt Reynolds, too, although he was around then. But it was Bob Hope. Yeah, he said "Hasta la vista, baby" in a 1970 stand-up special. So, yep, it goes back that far. Thank you, Lynn. And, well, that's all the check-ins I have so far. If you'd like to check into the ECR Trivia Net, give us your full call sign phonetically twice, please.
Kilo 8 November Romeo. Kilo 8 November Romeo, Neil and Buchanan.
Whiskey Delta 8, Papa India Charlie. Whiskey Delta 8, Papa India Charlie.
Jimmy Zero GUF, Kilo Bravo Zero Golf Uniform Box.
Kilo Delta 9, Zulu Delta Romeo. Kilo Delta 9, Zulu Delta Romeo.
Victor Kilo 3 Alpha Whiskey Alpha. Victor Kilo 3 Alpha Whiskey Alpha.
Kilo Mike 7 Foxtrot Foxtrot Golf. Kilo Mike 7 Foxtrot Foxtrot Golf.
Okay, we'll hold up there. Picked up 6 more. We have Neil in Buchanan, West Virginia, Kate. NR, welcome back, Neil and Bob. In Sylvania, Ohio, welcome back, Bob. WD8 PIC. We have John in South St. Paul, Minnesota. How you doing, John? KB0GUF. Kevin in Hometown, Illinois, KD9 ZDR. Gerald, one of our many facilitators in Australia. Actually, I think you're the only facilitator in Australia. Paradise Beach, Australia, WA, and Gina in McMinnville, Oregon, new to the net, KM7 FFG, and welcome to you. The question of the night is, if your personality had a warning label, what would it say? Over to you, Neil, at K8 NR.
Good evening, Alex, and everyone on the net. I'll try to think of something funny here. I would say probably warning contents under pressure. Back to you. Thanks for doing the net. Alex, Kate, and R, back to net.
As long as you don't explode, that's the important thing. Thank you, Neil. And your question is, what is the Betty and Barney Hill? Let me try that again. What is the Betty and Barney Hill case known for? A, the first widely publicized alien abduction. B, finding another saucer crash in Alabama 2 years after Roswell. Or C, having a son named Benny who went on to be a popular BBC comedian. What's Betty and Barney Hill known for?
Good question. I'm going to take a guess at B, but I'm not sure on this, but I'm taking a guess. Thanks again, Alex. Have a good evening. Neil, Kilo 8 November Romeo.
No, that wasn't Benny Hill. It was Betty and Barney Hill. The case was known for the first widely publicized alien abduction. It was a long time ago in the 60s, and they made it into a movie. It was quite interesting. Their story just seemed genuine as it could be. So that was the first abduction case that was documented. Thanks, Neil. And Bob in Sylvania, Ohio, at WD8 PIC. Tell me, Bob, if your personality had a warning, what would it say?
Causes breathing trouble from too much laughter. Because I'm only serious when I absolutely have to be.
Well, Bob, you can't have too much laughter. Oh, wait a minute. There was that Greek guy long ago that died of laughing too hard. Never mind. Your question is, this food, it costs more per ounce than the most expensive filet mignon. Is that A, caviar, B, Iranian pistachios, or C, movie theater popcorn?
I have no idea because I don't do my own shopping. I have to have special low salt stuff, so my roommate does my shopping. I'm going to go with Alpha, and that's only a guess, so I'm probably wrong. By the way, I've been sleeping the past few weekends, and after this I'm going to turn the radio down. My roommate's in the other room. There's just a door between us, and I want to be quiet. Have a great weekend, everybody. Until we meet again. WD8PIC, Silly Vania.
Thank you, Bob. And yes, good sleep is much more important than any net, and you're right there. But the answer we are looking for is the food that costs more per ounce than the most expensive filet mignon steak is movie theater popcorn. Yeah, popcorn in theaters is sold at 1,300% markup to help make the theaters more profitable. That's I really miss those Iranian pistachios. So they put a boycott on Iran after the student thing that went on in the 70s, the embassy takeover, and those are the best pistachios in the world. But meanwhile, moving on. Thank you. John, South St. Paul, Minnesota, KB0GUF. Okay, John, if your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Well, good evening, Alex, Vicky, everyone on Trivia Net. I've been thinking about that for a while, and I can't really come up with anything. I'll just say slippery when wet. What's my question, sir?
You know, I knew a woman once that had that tattooed on her. Never mind. Your question, John, is it's a true story. The phrase tying the knot, originates from which culture? Which culture are we talking about? A, the Celtic, B, Greek, or C, Viking?
Well, I'm going to go with Celtic on that. That's kind of a guess, but I'll go with Celtic.
Kind of a good guess, because it's Celtic. The tradition is known as hand fasting, the hand fasting ceremony, in which someone ties the couple's hands together using a ribbon or a cord as a representation of the two people becoming one union. Yeah, it was depicted in the movie Braveheart, so yeah, it's definitely Celtic tradition. So, plus you have the cord you can use later. Thank you, John. Kevin in Hometown, Illinois, ZDR. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
For taking me into the net, it would say caution, extremely volatile. Do not tell me how to do my job.
In stereo, we're available. Yeah, thanks, Kevin. You have a little bit of repeating echo, but that's okay. We can make it out. You got another radio on, so I do that often myself. Your question is, what does a la carte mean on a menu? Another food question. What does a la carte mean on a menu? Is it A, ordered separately, B, it's delivered by a waiter pushing a cart, or C, a pre-selected partial meal? What does a la carte mean at a restaurant?
A la carte is separate.
Your French is very good. Yeah, it's ordered separately is what a la carte means, which is the way I dine a lot because I can't afford the full meal usually. Thank you, Kevin. You got it. It's a W7FTM along with K8VKY. You're listening to the Saturday Night Trivia Net on the East Coast Reflector, and we're going to Daryl, our facilitator in Paradise Beach, Australia, VK3AWAR. Tell me, Daryl, what warning label would your personality have if it had one? What would it say?
Good evening, Alex, Vicky, and listeners. I think it would say handle with care, Alex.
Yeah, at our age, not just kidding, but always good advice. And your question is, what clef is typically used for low-pitched instruments? What clef are we talking about? Is that A, the bass clef, B, the treble clef, or C, the chin clef?
Good question. I'll go with bass clef.
Yeah, I have to throw a music question in there every now and then. It's the bass clef. Low-pitched instruments are, if you're playing the piano, the bottom line with the squiggly thing that comes up with the two dots. Thanks. That's how I learn music. Thank you, Daryl. I appreciate it, buddy. Gina, McMinnville, Oregon. Welcome to the net, KM7 FFG. Tell us, Gina, if your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Well, good evening, all. Personality. Well, I'd have to say, if I want your opinion, I'll give it to you. Let's give that to you.
Yeah, another philosophical response. Thank you, Gina. And your question is, okay, in which culture is a bride traditionally lifted off the ground during the wedding reception? A, Scottish. B, Japanese. Much easier to lift than a Scottish woman, I would think. Or C, Hobbit. Which of those cultures is a bride lifted off the ground during the reception?
I honestly don't know that. Someone mentioned earlier that B is usually correct. So let's try B. Bravo.
Well, traditionally it's done a Scottish wedding. They lift the bride off the ground, which is easier to do in this case since her hands are already tied from the hand passing ceremony. But nonetheless, yeah, it's a Scottish tradition. Thank you, Gina. Hope to hear you next Saturday. And finally, we go to Leo in Port Lauderdale, Florida, K4ITA. I'm glad you can make it, buddy. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Good evening, Alex. Good evening, Vicky. Good evening from Fort Lauderdale. I'm glad to be here to collect for the business. I like this net. And, well, let's try, I don't know, I thought about it. Too sweet, do not try, can be addictive. Just kidding. Yeah. It's 12 over after midnight. We can do some kidding. Back to you, Alex.
Thank you, Leo. Got you down, and last week you got a restaurant question. I have another one coming up, and you work at a restaurant, so I'm going to ask you: do you want the restaurant question, or should I pick something that is less of your specialty?
Oh yes, I like that. Go ahead.
Okay, here's the next question in the order. It's what does station refer to in restaurant lingo? Is it A, the assigned section of tables for a server, B, a restaurant inside a train or a bus station, or C, the kitchen of a restaurant? What's the station?
Okay, Alex. Thank you for choosing the question. keep choosing this question. You make my life easier. Thank you. You see, Charlie, in the kitchen. Everybody, great night. Before I go back to the business. Ciao.
Well, I guess maybe I mispronounced it. Actually, a station in restaurant lingo refers to assigned sections of tables for a server. At least over here. Maybe in Italian restaurants it's different. I don't know, but that's the answer. Thanks, Leo. Appreciate being here, buddy. Hope to hear you next Saturday. And that's the end of my call list. Taking more check-ins for the ECR Trivia Net. Full call sign phonetically twice, please.
Mike, November, Kilo, Oscar 6. Mike, November.
Kilo 6, Golf Bravo Zulu. Kilo 6, Golf Bravo Zulu.
Kilo India 5, Whiskey Uniform. Kilo India 5, Whiskey
Whiskey Uniform.
Kilo Juliet 5, Oscar Uniform Lima. Kilo Juliet 5, Oscar Uniform Lima.
Okay, let's hold it there, and we picked up a 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Ed in San Jose, K06, double MN. Welcome back. Tom in Cameron Park, California, K6. GBZ, welcome to the Trivia Net. Lynn in Houston, KI5WW, and William in Kitaki, Texas, KJ5. FUL. Welcome to the Trivia Net, guys. And the question of the night is, if your personality had a warning label, what would it say? How about you at K06MMN?
Thank you, Alex. To say it would be like the a Caesar salad with the anchovies, the olives, the croutons, some crushed coarse pepper, and lots of sea salt to rub it in. If you don't keep it to small talk, right, it's going to be the full Caesar salad. Anyway, back to you.
Grazie, Sinari. Your question is, well, here we are. In a musical composition, what is atonality? Atonality, is it A, a music without a key center, and B, music played in A minor, or C, music where the tones are missing?
Between A and C, but I'm going to have to go with alpha and see what happens. K06MMN, back to you, Alex, 73.
Yep, that's the one. Atonality in music composition is music without a key center. You know, like there's no key of this, key of that. They just jump all over the place. So there, a few composers are known to do that. So, thank you, Ed. You got it. Tom in Cameron Park, California, K6 GBZ. Welcome to the net. But tell us, if your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Hi, Alex, and everyone on the net. I think it would be do not disturb, but disturb anyway. I'm ready for my question.
The way it goes. All right, Tom, your question is, what genre, I hope I said that right, what genre is the band Nirvana associated with? A, easy listening, B, rock, or C, grunge?
I would guess, Charlie, for grunge.
Which wasn't even a category before the 1990s. You're correct, yeah, grunge music, and a lot of talent. I mean, it's unfortunate, but he was part of I think Cobain was part of the 27 Club, just like Brian Jones and Jimi Hendrix and some of the others. Thank you, Tom. You got it, buddy. Lynn in Houston, KI5WWU. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Good evening, Alex and Vicki. Thanks for running the net. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Kilo Indy 5 Whiskey Uniform, Lynn in Houston. It would probably say, do not mix with alcohol without consultation with physician. I'm ready for my question, sir.
Oh, hell, they just tell you to stop drinking. I mean, what? Okay, your question, Lynn, is, my wife would know this. Which Russian novelist wrote Crime and Punishment? Who wrote Crime and Punishment? Was it A, Leo Tolstoy, B, Fyodor Dostoevsky, or C, Yakov Smirnov?
I'm going to guess alpha on that one. Back to you, KI5WWU.
Yeah, again, which is what I thought. It's actually Fyodor Dostoevsky, Fyodor Dostovsky. Yeah, I know it's not an easy one to pronounce. Maybe you're Russian it is, but yeah, it's who wrote Crime and Punishment. Thanks. Yeah, I didn't catch that one, though. Thank you, Lynn. William, Kentucky? Yeah, Kentucky, Texas. KJ5FUL, Kentucky. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say? And if I mispronounce Kentucky, then please tell me. KJ5FUL.
Hi, I'm sorry. It's KJ5OUL, Conroe, Texas. The name is Rich.
Oh, no problem. Not true. Oh, I thought you were somebody new. All right, got you down, Conroe, Texas. And welcome to the net. If your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
I think it would say, beware of the truth.
A bit of my courage that page, haven't you? Beware of the truth. Your question is, which is the only mammal capable of true flight? The only mammal capable of true flight. A, the bat, B, the flying squirrel, or C, the titmouse?
I'm not too sure about that, but I don't know. I go with the flying squirrel. I'm a big fan of Bullwinkle.
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat, button on my sleeve. Did I say animal or did I say mammal? Which is the only mammal capable of true flight? You're going with the squirrels?
Yeah. For the $1 million.
Well, actually, it's the bat is the only mammal capable of true flight. Now, the flying squirrel, it does, zip around between the trees, but he doesn't really flap and keep himself up there. He's a glider. It's like a hang glider, opposed to a. Anyway, thanks, Rick. Appreciate you playing. All right, that's the end of my call list. I'm taking more check-ins for the ECR Trivia Net. Full call sign, phonetically twice, please. more time taking check-ins for the Cernak Trivia Net. Full call sign. It's either I stall long enough. Yeah, it's everybody who's late should be here. Full call sign, phonetically twice, please.
Kilo 2 Sierra Romeo Papa K2 SRP.
Okay, picked up Scott in Orchard Park, New York, K2 SRP. Welcome to the Trivia Net. And the question of the night is, if your personality had a warning label, what would it say?
Mine would say, warning, don't say it works unless you have a lot of time.
The world we live in today, people want the quick answer. They don't want the actual explanation. And, well, some of us do, but yeah, it's unfortunate. And by the way, Brent, keep your bats in your belfry. Scott, your question is, which car brand produces the Supra? You ever heard of Supra? Which car brand is that? A, Toyota, B, Nissan, or C, Marvel?
Never heard of it, so I am just going to throw out there C as in Charlie.
Well, although the Marvel car company has produced some fine vehicles, Toyota produces the Supra. I've heard of the other models. They even drive a Camry. I never heard of the Supra before. Well, thanks, Scott. I appreciate you playing. I hope to hear you next Saturday night. All right, well, we had another check-in, so once again, taking more check-ins for the Cernak Trivia Net. Full call sign phonetically twice, please. Sorry, let me close my window. Looks like it's it. Let's see how we did tonight. We had 45 people check into the Cernak Trivia Net tonight, and of those who checked in and worked in and out, 25 people got their questions correct, and only 17 people missed their questions. More evenly split tonight. And as far as the question of the night, if your personality had a warning label, what would it say? Yeah, that's pretty much all over the place. I've never seen a more finely divided pie chart in my life. It's pretty thin slices. Looks like you're having a party for 40 or 50 people, and all you have is a small cake. Anyway, 25 to 17. I'd like to thank everybody who did participate tonight, with special thanks, of course, to Vicky, VKY, for logging the net, squashing the interference and everything else she does. The East Coast Reflector hosts many interesting nets during the week. Don't go by this one. For more information, visit eastcoastreflector.com and select the Nets tab on the main page. We're now returning control to the ECR back to normal amateur use at, it's see, 9:35 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which nobody cares about, or 4:35 a.m. UTC. Until next week at the same time, Winter Control Voice will take you to the ECR Trivia Net. 7:30. Good night. W7F Jim Claire.
K7HLD, quick comment for you there. You got a second now.
Of course you do, Dave. Always for you. Go ahead.
Oh, was that hyperbole or what? Anyways, as always, you guys do an awesome job. I appreciate it. But I did have one quick comment. I don't speak French. I don't know any French except for some food terms, and it's mise en place. I'm sorry, but it just offended my sensibilities because, I'm CDO, as it should be arranged alphabetically. Thanks, man. KK7HL.
Okay, you have a point, or a pointe, as they would say. And no, I never use hyperbole. I just don't believe in that. But thank you, Dave. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Great net as always, and good job in the background there, Vicky. That was the name, so if I got that wrong, hit me upside the head. Take care, KK7HLD. And I guess I shouldn't have said anything because I'm happy normal, and you said we're back to normal. KK7HLD.
Yeah, back to normal as it gets anyway. Thanks, Dave. W7FTM 730. We'll get out of here.
AJ9Y.
You didn't check in tonight, Bob. AJ9Y, K7FPS.
VK3 AWA, listening for any calls.
Daryl, you're all out here at the wrong time of day, night, however that goes. You're looking to rack up those, coasty, however that goes, pre, post, time zone thing. Anyway, how you doing? AJ now, why, Bob in Phoenix.
Yeah, hi Bob. Perfect time for me. It's nearly 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, Bob. And just sitting here doing a few bits and pieces. Heard it was pretty quiet. I figure I'm only going to get the night owls. I understand that, Bob. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Very good. No, there were some folks, I forget if it was last night or the night before, calling you, right before Zulu. There we go. Looking to make that contact and then catch you again. You know how that goes. Anyway, hey, how's the game going?
Yeah, good, Bob. Thanks. Hope you've had a good day. And been pretty quiet here, just doing some tidying up and playing around with this radioless node that I finally got rid of the noise on, or most of the noise anyway. So it seems to be working okay. Hopefully it sounds all right at your end, Bob. Go ahead.
Well, sir, you sound fantastic. I wish to sound so good. And, hey, one of the last times we spoke, it had to do with in-fed half-wave antenna. You were about to tell me about the advantages of said item with a tuner versus one that was resonant on the bands. Hey, can you share? Are you able to share? Are you? Do you have time? AJ and NY, Bob and Phoenix.
Yeah, good, Bob. And yeah, I remember. Well, there's two distinct types of antennas you can use for wire antennas, and I guess the one I'll talk about is a 40-meter end-fed half-wave, which is a resonant antenna. It requires a 49-to-1 unun because the impedance of the antenna is usually about 2,500 ohms, so you need the 49-to-1 to match it to the 50 ohms. It's resonant on 40 meters, 20, 15 and 10, I think. This is all off the top of my head. So it's resonant on multiple bands, and you can even get 80 meters out of it by a very simple modification, and that is putting an inductor at the end of the antenna and another 2 or 3 feet of wire. Again, I'm just rattling this stuff off the top of my head, but the antenna then becomes an 80-meter antenna as well. It works very well. So that's a resonant antenna, and will give you harmonics if you cut one for 40 metres. And they work very well. And you can slope them, you can zigzag them. That doesn't matter. Just hang it wherever you want to hang it. And the other option is a non-resonant wire antenna that's not resonant on any frequencies. And they work well as also, Bob. And I use one here, so the one I use here is 71 feet. And it will tune on all bands from 80 metres through to 6 metres, but you do need to be able to tune it. And I'm using an IC 7300, and the internal tuner in the 7300 takes care of that. So it's 71 feet long, and it has a 66-foot counterpoise on it, and that's fed with a 4-to-1 unan because of the impedance of about 200, 300 ohms or thereabouts. But either of those antennas work well depending on your application, I guess. Bob, go ahead.